Hello, Commanders, and welcome back to the Roadmap Highlights. My name is Alex, and I'm the Regional Publishing Director for World of Tanks in APAC. In this episode, we'll be giving you more details on upcoming game events, brand new features, and some exciting new content.
Hello Wargamers, my name is Alexandra Lehenchenko and I am a senior game designer at World of Tanks. Performing a design owner role, my team and I help to develop various features such as metagame systems and in-game events. I'm very happy to be here today and continue updating you guys on our last news and upcoming events. So, let's go! Let's start off by looking at a game mode beloved by players, Frontline. We plan on bringing Frontline back very soon, but it should receive a couple of changes in comparing with previous iteration. We would like to simplify systems of the game mode in order to make it more comfortable for players to use. Let's take a closer look at what we are planning for the game mode.
Players will now be offered the option to pick between two random reserves while playing Frontline, allowing players to potentially pick the same reserve twice, increasing its effect. All abilities will level up equally and consist of 3 standard tiers. Using the already familiar reserve tokens, you can also buy an additional level, allowing you to achieve Tier 4 for your reserves. Another game mode you can expect to see is Steel Hunter Reborn, which will have a few key differences from the classic game mode. We will introduce a respawn ability for the first few minutes of the game. It can also be found in blue supply drops, allowing players to re-enter the match if they are destroyed during the initial stages of battle. And if you are playing in a platoon, you will even be able to revive your platoon mate if you haven't been in combat recently. Finally, we will also be introducing AI enemies to Steel Hunter Reborn, called Marauders. Face off against these new opponents and destroy them to gain more supply drops and experience. Marauders may seem familiar to many of you, especially if you played previous game modes such as Murny 13. There will be 3 different types of Marauders. The Wolf, which will stalk you from a distance and try to cause damage from range. The Bear, which will immediately start brawling with you as soon as you enter its proximity, but disengages when you distance yourself. And lastly, the Rabbit, which will try to run from you as soon as you spot them.
Also, we will be looking at adjusting the gameplay by reducing the number of players to 15 in solo matches. All of this should reduce the odds of the early engagement, give players opportunity to level up, and stand a better chance in the game later. Now, let's talk about the return of the event that many of you asked about. I'm talking about Myrny 13 that will return later this year, concluding the story of a mystical town and anomaly that occurred there.
We have been hard at work polishing Myrny 13 to improve this mode, which players are already familiar with. We have been adjusting the gameplay, adding more abilities and anomalies, giving you more control and options over the benefits during battle. We are also revamping the boss fights, creating a more exciting yet challenging experience for you and your team. So pay close attention to future announcements, where hopefully we can share more specific details. You can also expect UI changes to the service record page. We plan to make adjustments to the visuals of WTR ratings. WTR will now be divided into 5 groups: Bronze, Silver, Gold, Ace, and Legend, each consisting of 3 levels, for a total of 15 levels. We hope this will provide better visualization of the rating system and how your rating compares to other players. We will also be introducing the ability to customize the achievements featured on your main statistics page, giving you the ability to show off your favorite medals and achievements. At the end of the day, we want to give all players the opportunity to share their achievements and make their service record more representative of their battle scores, while still allowing them to show off their proudest achievements.
We hope that you are as excited as us about all these new updates, but we have an announcement of a few game modes that are planning to return this year. Firstly, our beloved Waffentrager that will reappear later this year and will continue the existing story. Ermelinda has been hard at work in order to protect everything she and her father have created. However, the Allies added one more familiar tank to their arsenal to fight her forces, the TVP T5051. So, be prepared for the return of this game mode in addition with a new tank and some new exciting changes. Another game mode that we can expect to return this year is Arcade Cabinet. While we can't share too much about what's planned for the next iteration, we can tell you that the game mode will feature new unique gameplay that many of you will be excited to try out.
And finally, we have some more information regarding the British wheeled medium tanks. We know many players have concerns regarding the introduction of new wheeled vehicles, but we want to clarify that these tanks will be more comparable to lightly armored mediums with good guns, as opposed to current wheeled vehicles in-game that players are already familiar with. We can confirm that these tanks will not have two speed modes like the EBRs, and that these tanks will have slower forward, reverse, and traverse speed, driving more similarly to tanks like the Batchat 25T. On the topic of tank traverse, it's important to note that the British wheeled mediums will not turn like the EBRs, but rather traverse on the spot, like more traditional tanks featured in the game. Furthermore, these tanks will be much larger than existing wheeled vehicles. The slower speeds and the larger models should increase the chances of causing damage when hitting the wheels. Also, these vehicles will receive a penalty of over 60% to mobility when one wheel is damaged. Damaging more wheels will have a smaller effect on the tank's mobility. This differs from existing wheeled vehicles, which receive a 25% penalty and see a larger reduction in mobility with more damaged wheels. We plan to introduce the line from Tier 5, branching off from the Covenanter and leading up to Tier 10. We will also be introducing a new Tier 8 premium vehicle to the Super Test very soon. Unfortunately, it's too early to share any specific details about each of these tanks. However, we are certain that this line of tanks will be an interesting line, especially for experienced players.
We hope that you found this video informative and that you have a pretty good idea about what to expect in the coming months from World of Tanks. We do have some other new features we want to talk about, like autocannons, and many more. So subscribe to the World of Tanks Asia channel and stay in touch. By the way, do let us know what you think about the topics discussed in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you very soon.